Welcome back to the channel. So this is my first official YouTube video outside of my introduction video. So it's kind of like my actual first official topic. So I saw a post the other day while I was scrolling on YouTube, and this random post comes across my feed. It's from World Star Hip Hop, and the title read, "Bhad Bhabie says people who subscribe to her OnlyFans right when she turned 18 should be in jail. Thoughts? Question mark." Now I'm just sitting here looking at this post and I'm thinking, the nerve, the audacity, the gall. So let's dive into it. Now, if you don't know or if you're unaware of who Bhad Bhabie is, Bhad Bhabie, aka Danielle Bregoli, also known as the Catch Me Outside girl, right? That's how she kind of started her career. She was known as the Catch Me Outside girl because of a viral episode of Dr. Phil that was getting a lot of attention on social media a few years ago, because she was very rude, very disrespectful to her mother, and she just seemed like just overall like a baby's kid, right? Just a complete headache.
Did you say the hoes are laughing?
Yep.
So the audience are a bunch of hoes.
Yep. Catch me outside. How about that?
Huh?
Catch me outside. How about that?
Complete wild child, ragamund, what else? A little rascal, just a little demon incarnate, right? So I remember from these days of social media when she was getting attention that everyone was talking about her, everyone was, quoting her and things like that, and it was pretty funny. It was a nice little laugh for the moment, right? But then later on, she started to gain attention because the Catch Me Outside girl decided to become a rapper. And then it was funny because she became a rapper, and then people were just kind of like automatically assuming, oh, she's going to be trash. And I assumed that too, right? Because I'm a fan of hip hop, and, me assuming this girl with, all the jokes that were made about her, all the social media publicity, I was thinking to myself, oh, this probably isn't really that good. It's probably trash, whatever. I listened to her song and I was like, oh, okay. Mad respect. She did her thing. Like not even ragging on her and her ability to rap. She was like, okay, like she's actually pretty good. She's doing her thing. Then after becoming a rapper, doing that for a little while, when she turned 18, she decided that she wanted to become an OnlyFans model. She turned 18. She's a legal adult at that point. She can make her own decisions, right? Now, of course, in my personal opinion, I wouldn't want, I would prefer most women don't do OnlyFans at all. But at the end of the day, if you're an adult, you can make your own decisions. That's fully on you. The consequences are fully on you. She decided to do it right as soon as she turned 18, right? Now, I'm not going to lie. From a marketing standpoint, this was an absolutely amazing move. I mean, she first got her attention for being the Catch Me Outside girl. Then she used that attention and that publicity and that momentum to shoot straight into the rap game and become a rapper. And she succeeded. And she has made multiple bangers, and there's actually a few songs of hers that I like, right? And then she used that momentum from her being a rapper, from her being the Catch Me Outside girl on Dr. Phil, and anything else. She used all of that to start an OnlyFans as soon as she turned 18. Now, I personally, if I was her father, I would be devastated, disappointed, right? But at the same time, we're in this whole, third, fourth, what are we in, the 15th wave of feminism? It is what it is. Women can do whatever they want. Fine. All right. Your decision. Fine. And to my surprise, I didn't think that this many people were going to simp over her. But she started in OnlyFans, and she claimed after about 6 hours of doing OnlyFans that she made $1 million, right? And some people were kind of like saying, oh, that's cap, that's, oh, she's lying, or she's like, oh, she's over exaggerating how much she's making. But then later, and no one really no one was talking about it that much until a few months later, or actually not a few months, about a year passes. And she claims that she made $52 million. $52 million. That is an unbelievably huge amount of money. Just to share for being pretty, right? But hey, at the same time, I can't knock it. Like I gotta respect it. Because she used her momentum, she used her popularity and everything at her disposal to go ahead and make her money. And hey, props to her. Keep making your money. But the problem that I have is when you have made $52 million off of OnlyFans alone, and you're a celebrity, you're popular, you got all this stuff going for you, right? And you decide to say that the people who subscribe to your OnlyFans should be in jail because you just turned 18. As I said before, all the right in the world to start her OnlyFans, to do her thing. But the fact is that when you turn around after making all that money and then trying to play a victim card of some sort, trying to say, oh, well, all the people who subscribe to me as soon as I turn 18 should go to jail. And I remember the conversation around this time when she made her OnlyFans. She was getting like a whole bunch of people subscribing, and the money that she was making was kind of purporting or at least was putting out a narrative to the general public that a lot of people were interested in her, right? A lot of people wanted to see her, without clothes on or whatever the case may be, whatever she was doing on her OnlyFans, right? I'm not going to lie, all right? Looking at Bhad Bhabie, looking at her, she's not an ugly girl, right? She's not an ugly girl by any means necessary, at least in my opinion. And she used her momentum, her looks, her popularity to her advantage, right? How can you sit around and say that, oh, the people who subscribe to my OnlyFans should be in jail, but I started an OnlyFans with the intention to make money. I started an OnlyFans with the intention that I was going to get a good amount of people subscribing to my OnlyFans giving me money, right? What did she expect? What do you expect when you join OnlyFans? OnlyFans is trying to do this whole, narrative change when they're trying not to be looked as like a sex company or a company that's only for like women showing feet pics and stuff like that. But that's what they are. All right. OnlyFans, you can't fight that. That's what you are now. You basically are like a safer version of Pornhub, right? That's all you are. And I think you guys should probably lean into that because that's what's making you money. And I'm bringing this up because I remember distinctly when Bhad Bhabie started OnlyFans, when it was getting a lot of popularity, people were kind of dogging the people who were subscribing to her OnlyFans, saying, oh, she just turned 18. This is creepy, blah, 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 whatsoever, right? You can feel how you want to feel about that. That's your personal opinion. But she made the money. And at that point, in the United States, at least when you're 18, you're an adult. You can do whatever the hell you want to do. No one's stopping you from starting an OnlyFans. And to sit here and play the victim, the nerve. Now, when I saw this post, I decided to look at the comments to see what other people were saying. And a lot of them have the same sentiments as me, right? So this first comment, the top comment under this post says, imagine creating an OnlyFans the day you turn 18 and getting upset that people signed up for you for the very service you created and promoted so that people would sign up. Classic. Next comment reads, she's illegal at 18. She shouldn't even have an OnlyFans at that age if it was an issue. Also, her OnlyFans are to thank her for her success today. Next comment, must be hard to get paid $50 million after throwing a fit on Dr. Phil. Thoughts and prayers. You are so stunning and brave. Stunning and brave. So this is essentially some of the backlash that at least she's getting for this article or for this post or for this rhetoric, I would say. Because let's think about this, people, right? It's crazy, this double standard that we have sometimes when it comes to young women, right? And it's kind of crazy thinking about this whole situation, because in the same instance, like these people in the general public will shame these men and like dog them for subscribing to a legal adults OnlyFans because she just turned 18. But in the same hand, they will praise that young 18-year-old, that legal adult, for making an OnlyFans and making her money. Like make it make sense. Like this doesn't make sense to me. As a legal adult, like once you turn 18, that is the point where, like, for instance, if you commit a crime at the age of 15 or 16, in most states at least, you're going to juvie, right? And even like, younger, you're definitely going to juvie, right? But once you turn 18 and you commit a crime, you're going to big boy jail. There's no juvie, there's no anything else. You're getting thrown in the slammer with pedos, with people who force themselves on other people, with killers, with gang members. You're getting thrown in there with the mix. They don't care. Once you turn 18, it's a wrap, right? And in a lot of states, in most states, once you turn 18, you are legally allowed to smoke cigarettes. You're legally allowed to smoke something that gives you cancer, that is proven to give you cancer. You're legally allowed to buy stuff you're legally allowed to buy tobacco, like chewing tobacco, that can put holes in your face, right? Like, rule. But once you turn 18, you have a lot more freedom. You can do a lot more things on your own. Even though you may or may not live with your parents, you don't legally have to abide by anything that they say. So you can make any decisions that you want. And in that same aspect, when it comes to the sex industry, you can make your own decisions as well. It doesn't matter how young you are, how old you are. You're an adult, right? So therefore, there comes consequences with the things that you do. And she knowingly signed up to do OnlyFans, knowing the fact that she probably knows the fact that she's pretty, or at least not ugly. She knows the fact that she got a lot of attention for being on the Dr. Phil show, and she knows that she got a lot of attention because she's a rapper, right? She knows that a lot of people are looking at her, and she would not have made the OnlyFans if she did not believe that she was going to make money from it, right? So that's the thought process behind this. So then to turn around and say that your subscribers should go to jail because they subscribe right as you turn 18, like, do you deserve to go to jail as well? You're saying this as if like your subscribers are pedos, or if your subscribers are predatory. Well, should you go to jail for putting out content of someone who is close to underage? No, I'm pretty sure you wouldn't say that. Do you believe that that every single person who subscribed to your OnlyFans should get a refund and then they should all go to jail? No, you're not going to touch that money. You're going to keep it for yourself. I'm pretty sure she bought a few houses with it too. The hypocrisy is damning. And as a matter of fact, Bhad Bhabie was even bragging on social media. She was even bragging about how much money she made, saying that no one can touch her, this, and that. Matter of fact, let me find exactly what she said. All right, so this was from her, I guess, getting an interview or discussing her money or her making money from OnlyFans with TMZ. And she was saying, quote, "Call me the youngest female of the decade to go platinum. Call me some shit like that. Call me the girl who got $1 million makeup deal. The girl who made over 50 million on OnlyFans." So she's bragging. So she's bragging about how successful she is. And hey, like I said, shout out to her, not hating on her. But how are you going to sit here and brag about how you made $50 million on OnlyFans, and then in the same aspect, in the same light, turn around and say that all your subscribers that made you that rich deserve to go to jail? In my eyes, you should be thanking and pleading and just, you should be absolutely grateful for your simps, miss. I don't have that many simps lining up around the block to give me $50 million. I wish I did. Life would be a whole lot easier right now. And now, let me extend an olive branch, right? Because I get where the conversation goes a lot of the time, or at least where a lot of people try to take the conversation. I think that some people are wrong in many aspects, but in some ways, I think some people are kind of valid. So let me explain. So some people would say that it is creepy for men to be attracted to 18, 19, 20-year-old women because they're young, because they believe that young men or that older men are trying to be predatory and trying to take advantage of younger women, etc., right? And to a certain extent, I can understand that, right? There are some men out there like that. There are some men who try to take advantage of young women, particularly because they are young, because they are maybe more naive, more impressionable, right? No one is denying that. And I think that it is a problem in our society today that we do have, in many cases, young women under the legal age, under 18, who are being sexualized. I do believe that that is a problem, right? And even when I say for instance, when I look at anime, right? And it's different in many different countries, but I say this because it's a specific example that comes to mind, how there are supposedly characters in anime shows that are supposed to be 15, 14, 13 years old, and yet they're drawing young women like older women's bodies. That is very uncomfortable. It's very weird to watch. It's very strange to watch, right? And I get that. And I get the conversation about how we should not sexualize young girls. Young girls, right? Not young women, all right? I get that, right? But see, the thing is that this whole feminist argument of how women are more than their bodies and how not to sexualize women, it falls apart very, very quickly when you have young women sexualizing themselves for monetary gain. She literally sexualized herself, put herself on a platform, and I don't give a damn what you say, right? I don't care if you say, oh, OnlyFans is basically like Patreon, it's basically like Buy Me a Coffee, blah, blah, blah. No one is going to the OnlyFans site to go see content from their favorite content creators. They're going on OnlyFans to see ass and titties, all right? You know that. We all know that. Let's not play stupid here, okay? So the fact that she, as a young adult, as someone who can make decisions for herself, she chose to sexualize herself for monetary gain. All of her subscribers got flagged for subscribing to her, for wanting to see whatever she was going to show on OnlyFans, but she didn't get any flack for being a young woman and going ahead and starting OnlyFans to make money from it. It's funny how there's always this double standard of how men or older men who decide to take interest in younger women or who like younger women are seen as predatory or are seen as near pedophile-ish, but the young women who take advantage of their looks for monetary gain or whatever type of gain are never seen as predatory in their own sense. It's funny how that works. And I think that one thing that this whole manosphere movement that has started to come about, like of people like the Fresh and Fit podcast, like Andrew Tate, is starting to shed light on an uncomfortable truth that a lot of people don't want to admit, or a lot of people don't, or a lot of people try to ignore. And it's that younger women are seen as more attractive. When you, and this is an uncomfortable truth, and a lot of people don't like to hear this, especially older women in particular, but it doesn't matter if you're a 15-year-old boy, if you're a 50-year-old man, or if you're 70 or 80 or 90-year-old man. You're going to find young women attractive. And this has been a thing since the dawn of time. Men just like younger women. Generally, younger women tend to be more feminine. They tend to be, the things, body parts tend to not have been affected by gravity as much, right? The young women just have some type of power over men in general, not just older men, but men of all ages, even young men, even teenage boys, right? A 15-year-old boy and a 30-year-old man can look at a pretty woman and admire her the same way, basically. That doesn't change, right? Just how a lot of older or a lot of younger women have attraction to older men because they are more established, they're more mature, things of that nature, right? They have their shit together more in general. And see, it's funny how this is always accepted one direction, like with women. Say, for instance, if a younger woman wanted to date an older man, she's never demonized or seen as predatory. But it's always the older men who are interested in the younger women who are demonized and seen as predatory, right? And it sucks, and it's just the way the world is, and I accept that. But I think that it's important to call out this hypocrisy. And as I was diving more into this story, I was thinking to myself, this is like a third party's account of what she said, right? So I'm thinking to myself, like, okay, let me actually hear what she said for myself to see if there's anything off. So I found this article from BuzzFeed News, and I was scrolling through it. It gave a whole summary of who Bhad Bhabie, aka Danielle Bregoli, is in her past and how she's gotten up to this point. So in this article, I get to the point where it says, sitting down for an appearance on Barstool Sports show Sunday Conversation with Caleb Presley last month, Bregoli, now 19, firstly clarified that she joined OnlyFans as soon as she turned 18. And people subscribed right away. Presley quickly questioned, to which Bregoli replied, yeah. Then Presley asked if she thinks those people should be in jail. Bregoli said, yeah, while shrugging. Bregoli was later asked what she does on OnlyFans, to which she said, I don't know, it's a surprise. She also revealed that she makes much of her earnings through DMs, before adding she often receives explicit penis photos in response. And going on to describe her demographic, Bregoli said, I feel like they're 20 to 40-year-olds, probably like a white man who's married with like 6 kids, definitely has a daughter my age. So after reading through this, I thought I would go ahead and listen to the interview myself and to get more context in the situation, because maybe there's something that we're taking out of context here. Maybe there's something that I quite don't understand, right? So I decided to go ahead and look at the video myself.
Oh, you thought I was going to say join the military?
No, I was going to say is when I joined OnlyFans.
You joined OnlyFans the night you turned 18?
I think so, yeah.
And people subscribed right away?
Yeah.
Should they be in jail?
Yeah.
And what do you do on OnlyFans?
So at this point, he asked, she's like, oh, yeah. And she asked, oh, should the people who subscribed right after, should they be in jail? She said, yeah, just so casually. And she didn't shrug when she said, yeah. She doesn't, at first I almost thought like maybe he kind of pressured her with this question, kind of like threw it out here like, oh, so you believe that they should be in jail, right? And she kind of maybe felt a little pressured, maybe hesitated. She did not hesitate whatsoever. He said, do you think they should be in jail? Yeah. Instantly. And who knows, maybe it could have been maybe some editing that maybe took out some more context of it. But from the way it's looked like to me, even though this is more of a funny comedic style interview, there are still some, truth to some of the questions that are asked and whatnot, even though it's in a funny manner. The way she answered that question leads me to believe that she probably does believe a lot of her subscribers should be in jail. And that also brings up another thought to me. What if, for instance, if she's 18, does a subscriber who is 18 deserve to go to jail? What about a subscriber who's 19? Or what about a subscriber who's 20 or 25, right? Like, where's your cutoff age for the point to where your subscriber should go to jail if he subscribed to you, right? Do you believe that you should not accept money from anyone over a certain age? Are you willing to give back that money to people who subscribe if they go to jail? And what if there was, say, a 16-year-old boy or a 15 or 14-year-old boy who likes Bhad Bhabie and who thinks that she's pretty and decides to make an account and register to OnlyFans? Do you deserve to go to jail for showing that content to potentially underage boys? I bet it doesn't go that way, huh? I think that this just goes to show that there is a serious double standard in the world that we live in now, especially when it comes to the realm of sexuality and sexual entertainment in the adult industry. A lot of women will sit here and, make a bunch of money, gain a bunch of fame and whatnot from sexualizing themselves, but then will turn around and demonize the same men or the same people who sexualize them as well. And also, let me address, I guess I'll extend another olive branch and address the whole situation about her mostly making her earnings through DMs, but then also saying that she often receives dick pics in return, right? I'll just go ahead and say just dick pics. That she receives dick pics in return. And obviously, majority of the time, dick pics are completely unwarranted. A lot of women don't want them, right? And there are a lot of creeps who do that type of stuff. And I will go ahead and admit that shit is horrible, right? And obviously, I do think that there is a problem with men doing that type of stuff. I think men do need to stop doing that creepy shit. And in general, just never send pictures of yourself or any of your body parts unless someone actually asks for them, unless you actually want to. I would say just go ahead and just don't do it at all, because you'll never know where that shit will end up, and it will ruin you for the rest of your life, right? And I do think that does deserve a spotlight. I do think that maybe there are some things that women in the adult entertainment industry go through that maybe we should be paying more attention to. But at the same time, at the end of the day, I do think that a lot of this is just about being an adult and accepting consequences, right? At the end of the day, if you're an adult, if you're 18, at least in the United States, if you're 18, you are considered an adult. You are able to make adult decisions for yourself. And if you mess up, you have to deal with the consequences. You can't just sit here as an adult and just accept anything that benefits you while also simultaneously turn around and playing the victim card for anything that doesn't. Life doesn't work that way. None of this works that way.
That's not how it works. That's not how any of this works.
And yeah, it's creepy and it's unwarranted. You deal with a lot of creeps and stuff like that, and maybe you get unwarranted pictures and whatnot. But at the end of the day, you're making money and you signed up for that. And I'm pretty sure she probably still has an OnlyFans to this day. She probably didn't stop just because she got a few pictures that she didn't want. She probably kept going because she wanted to make more money. And that is the consequences that come with that lifestyle. That's the consequences that come with that type of stuff.
Consequences.
And unfortunately, a lot of young women, especially because it's a lot of young women who are doing OnlyFans, don't consider these potential consequences. They also don't, think about the potential consequences that will come later on, years and years down the road. Say maybe, for instance, when they're trying to find a job when they're no longer working in the adult entertainment industry, or when they're trying to find a partner, and a lot of men don't want to take them seriously because they have pictures of themselves all over the internet, right? This kind of reminds me of that Mia Khalifa story when she was talking about how she was manipulated and abused and whatnot. Well, I don't think she said abused necessarily, but when she was at least manipulated into doing, prawn and things like that, into doing all these sexual acts, and how she was basically cheated out of money, and how she didn't even really make that much money from doing those adult scenes and whatnot. And yeah, that is a sad story, but at the end of the day, you were a legal adult. You were able to make your own decisions. It's funny how a lot of these young ladies will go and they'll do this stuff at a young age, and then they'll turn around and say, oh, I was young and I was dumb and I was manipulated. And it's it doesn't matter. It does not matter. For at least guys, when you're young and you're dumb, and say you make a mistake, say if you were 19 and you made a mistake drinking and driving, well, hey, guess what? You're still going to jail. And the same thing also applies for women too. But it's just in general, when you become an adult, that none of that stuff about being young and dumb matters anymore. You are an adult. You have to deal with adult consequences. And you can't sit here and say, oh, I was young, I was basically a child, or, oh, well, my subscribers and my simps should go to jail because they subscribed right after I turned 18. None of that flies, at least by me. You can't sit here and play the victim card when you made $52 million off of them. It does not work. It just does not make any sense. Alright, well, I think it's going to wrap it up for this video. Remember, everything in life has consequences, and you need to take accountability for your actions, right? So, who knows, maybe one day she'll take accountability, but I'm not betting on it. Alright, well, it'll wrap it up for this one. Have a wonderful day, and remember, always think for yourself. Alright, deuces.